All right, let's start with story number 10, reported by MSN and Time Now News. So there's a 45-year-old woman, and she was attacked and killed in Sudan, unfortunately. They managed to catch the murderer. He was arrested, but he was sentenced to just 3 years in prison. Jon Alba, why do you think that the sentence handed out was so light?
Man, my first thing would be to say, oh, terrible court systems and in a different country, I don't know exactly what the jurisdiction is as far as what they feel constitutes intentional murder, but that sounds like a pretty terrible story.
Well, the murderer in this case was a ram. Joel, do you got the picture?
Oh,
There is the killer
oh
right
my.
there. They deemed the owner of the ram to be innocent because the ram is the one that committed the crime. So the ram will spend 3 years in a military camp. And after that, it's going to be given to the victim's family in accordance with local law. And the ram's owner, because you got to remember, this is kind of like rural Sudan.
Yes.
The
As
ram's,
opposed to urban Sudan.
as opposed to urban Sudan, right? As opposed to metropolitan Sudan. The
Right.
ram's owner also had to give the victim's family 5 cows as compensation in this situation. So
Are we talking
very,
like Wagyu here?
I'm
Just
thinking
like,
probably not.
okay.
Probably not. I think they're probably hoping for like a dairy cow or two.
Mm,
Probably.
that's fair.
But
That's
let
fair.
me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself in a situation with an animal where you were attacked or you felt like you were going to be attacked?
Well, I lived in Florida for a while and I saw my fair share of gators, and those are terrifying. They are really scary to see in person. But I actually, you mentioned at the top of this that I host Matt Hardy's podcast, and we did our Becoming Broken series, and we talked about the segments that they filmed with Smoke and Joe Frazier, which was a live kangaroo. And he said that the kangaroo was taking legit shots at he and Jeff, and they were worried that the kangaroo was going to actually knock them out.
Wow.
So I would be terrified if I ever came face to face with an animal that is my size that could do some serious damage to me.
Interesting. Have you seen the video that went viral where there was a kangaroo holding the dog and the guy went up to it and he gave it a right cross?
Yes, yes, I have seen
Yeah.
that.
So
And
that was
I don't think I'd have the balls to do that.
so if that was your dog, what would you do? Would you like just let the kangaroo
Yeah,
take the
I mean,
dog?
I guess maybe in that situation, the adrenaline's pumping, you're feeling a lot tougher than you probably are. Maybe you're going for it. I just oh man, animals can be scary, and I'm an animal person. I love animals, but
Yep.
I there's a difference. It's why I prefer small dogs and medium-sized dogs because I can hold the medium-sized dog, the small dog. I can they make me look intimidating. Any animal that I look intimidated by, I'm generally going to avoid. Generally.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I guess just stay away from the gators, stay
Especially
away
this
from the
ram,
kangaroos, stay away from the ram. Yeah, and then you'll be fine. Then you'll be
not
fine.
into the ram.
Let's move on to story number 9. Are you an Airbnb guy? Like you do a fair bit of traveling. Do you ever rent, somebody's house when you travel?
That I do, and,
You
yeah,
do.
I've used Airbnb many times.
Okay, good. So then this is a story that might be of interest to you. So there's a girl named Amy, and she posted on Twitter about her Airbnb discovery. There was an Airbnb host, and he was offering a nightly rental in Dublin, Ireland. And he was offering it on the cheap for only like 60 euros a night, which is about 64 US dollars a night. We know that Airbnb rentals, they can be a little bit sketchy sometimes,
For
but
sure.
the website, I think the website's got a lot of trust. I think that it's got a good reputation. Any idea why that listing in Dublin, Ireland went viral?
My guess would be that it's probably on some sort of cliff or something like that. Knowing Ireland's geography, there's a lot of cliffs. I imagine it's something of that nature.
Good guess. It was for a tent on a slab of concrete in a guy's backyard. Julie, do you got a picture of the listing?
Okay.
Look at this listing.
Do we know if it's near a cliff?
No, it's in a guy's garden
Okay.
on a keep it up there, Joel. Keep it up there for a minute. In a guy's garden on a slab of concrete. And here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. So this girl, Amy, when she saw this listing, she thought it was a joke, right? She thought someone put this up. This is fake and it's a joke. So she hit up the host. The host responded to her. It wasn't a joke. And as a matter of fact, the guy said, I don't know, Joel, if you have the response that this guy gave you. Yes, look at this. The guy said, it's not a joke. However, maybe a comfortable couch in the living room is something you prefer. So the guy said to this girl he doesn't know, hey, if you don't want to sleep on the concrete slab,
I've
I
got
got a
it.
couch in my living room. You want to sleep there?
Joel, can we go back to the first picture here for a quick second here? Because there was something I noticed about it. Notice it is discounted from 69 euros to 59 euros. So he's
Yes.
really trying to sell this thing here.
Yes, yes. I imagine he's not getting 5 stars for the tent on the concrete slab. So let me ask you, you said that you've done, Airbnbs and stuff. What is the worst accommodations that you can remember having experienced?
So I've really had, generally speaking, good Airbnb experiences, but I've had a few weird hotel experiences. I toured in a band, and in Canada and Toronto specifically, ironically, we were playing the El Macambo in Toronto, and um, there was this hotel that we came across that there was some famous murder that happened at in the 70s or the 80s. I don't remember the name of it. But I'm like, well, that probably just fits every motif of a horror story that you've heard, and, like, I'm sure the hotel is fine. It's fine. It just was coincidental that a murder happened there. And we got there, and I have never in my life been so afraid to sit on a bed. I swear to you, Jimmy, I could feel the vibes of I wouldn't have been surprised if the murder occurred in said room that I was in. I
Really?
felt like the comforter was crawling. I did not get beneath the comforter. I sat on the bed. I can't sleep sitting up at all, but I did that night. Boy, howdy. And you could, like, the air conditioner was broken, the radiator was broken. The walls had they had wallpaper on this hotel, and it was, like, falling off. But when you're a touring band, man, that's life on the road.
100%. Yep,
So
I'm saying you gotta look at the price per night in a situation like that.
bingo. So sometimes you don't even end up getting a hotel. You end up staying in a frat house in Niagara Falls, and then a bug flies into your mouth in the middle of the night, which is what happened to me. So, yeah, man, I'd say that was probably the worst lodging experience I've had. Airbnb, it hasn't been too bad, except for, man, the prices are crazy. They're
Well, unless you want a tent on a slab of
Unless you want
concrete
a
in
tent,
Dublin,
yeah, I
Ireland.
mean, 59 euros is a good deal, especially discounted, so.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I click the subscribe button. You really should too. If you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.